Hi guys, it's RebelQueen. Okay, you probably figured this next video review would be for like Spider-Man or something, or one of the other movies that I was kind of excited to see this December, but just kind of give you guys a little heads up. I did get a job earlier this month, and with my schedule, it's kind of throwing me for a little bit of a loop here on getting out to see movies, so that's kind of why I don't have a Spider-Man No Way Home review for you, but I just got Hawkeye watched, sorry about that. I just watched Hawkeye, the Marvel series, so just finished that, so I'm doing a review on that for you guys, and tomorrow, hopefully, depending on how the day goes, I'm not making any promises. I might go out to do a, kind of like when I went and saw Eternals and Encanto, I might do a twofer for movies and try and get Spider-Man and maybe one of my other movies that just released in theaters and do a review for you guys. But it'll just kind of depend on how things go. But if you guys kind of want more things to be up to date, me and Albion would really appreciate it if you guys spread the word and stuff, because it's like we need at least 1,000 viewers either on the YouTube and streaming stuff to start making money and stuff, and for things to be like on a really good point for us to be pulling in a good amount of money for both of us and have some good cash flow there, especially Albion, because since he's doing with what he's doing, with the job he's going for after he gets his credential stuff, he's going into IT. He kind of really doesn't want to deal with, I think we all kind of know there are a lot of people out there who will ask stupid questions like, why is my computer or printer doing this or not doing this? And a lot of times they are just being, like I said, they're just being idiots. It's a basic thing, like, did you try doing this? And it's like, it's something very basic. He's not really looking forward to going into that, especially considering certain system stuff. So come on guys, help us out here. Give us more subscribers and views and stuff. But anyway, the Hawkeye series ended up being very good, and we kind of for the last couple episodes here, we got a little no beauty. We got a little surprise here, because for those of you who do know it, the Netflix series, the Netflix Daredevil series, their Kingpin, the actor who played that version of Kingpin, he actually reprised his role in this Hawkeye. So, I'm not gonna ruin things for you, but so I don't know if it will continue on that vein, and he'll keep he'll keep up his stuff, because I mean, we all know how Kingpin is such a critical figure in the NYC Marvel universe. So it's like when I was kind of like when the character image got first brought up on the 5th episode leading into the final episode, I was kind of like, wait a minute, isn't that? And I was like, holy crap! Because we all kind of thought that we knew that technically, because of how things went, the the technically Marvel had gotten the rights for the whole Netflix Marvel series, so if they wanted to, they could get the actors that played any of the Marvel Netflix characters to come and reprise their roles, but honestly, I kind of didn't know if that a lot of us really didn't know if that was actually going to happen or not. Because, I mean, after all, we've kind of already seen here with the Blade movie that is going to happen here down the line in Marvel's MCU. Wesley Snipes isn't going to reprise the Blade role. They've got somebody else going. I mean, after all, I mean, because after all, for those of you don't know, before there was an MC universe, they did do a trilogy of Blade movies, because Blade is part of the MCU. But before there was, before they even attempted to start this whole MCU, and aside from the third movie, the Blade movies are pretty good, and Wesley Snipes acting as Blade is really good. So, hearing that they were going to do their own Blade movie, I kind of thought, oh, are they going to try and talk Wesley Snipes into reprising the character? But no, they didn't. But I know I'm getting off topic here. This is a Hawkeye review. But so it was kind of a shock to see that. But considering, like I said, they had brought the Netflix Daredevil character who did the Kingpin role and brought him in to reprise his role, it was kind of still a shock. But anyway, kind of going into this Hawkeye series, basically, as we all know, with kind of like what all is going on in the MCU, everything kind of takes place after the blip, and as we kind of know what happened at the end of Infinity Wars, and as we kind of know, Hawkeye's family pretty much all disappeared in the blip. And so, and then after the Avengers all did their thing, he's got them back. So basically, it's the holidays, and he's spending time with them to reconnect and everything. Well, due to a certain issue that pops up because of his time as the Ronin, he has to cut his spending that time with them stuff short to deal with that. But he kind of is, but he does promise him, like, I will do my best to be home by Christmas. Which then this introduces us to Kate Bishop. Now, if you do pay attention to the comics, Kate Bishop does get introduced in the whole Young Avengers stuff, and come on, LK, lay down. And she she's like, she pretty much has like a lot of the same skill set as Hawkeye, and she's like about as great as an archer as him. And she, in the comics, with how her character is basically introduced, she basically is just like, she follows the current team of Young Avengers and just like mishmashes together an outfit from parts of different heroes stuff, and she doesn't really take over the code name of Hawkeye until basically they see how good of an archer she is, and they're like, well, why don't you use Hawkeye's name? It's not until because at that point it's assumed in the comic verse that Hawkeye is dead. It's not until apparently she meets and gets into a fight with Hawkeye, who is pretty much under a mask and stuff, and she's like, look, I wouldn't be, if Hawkeye was alive, I wouldn't be using the code name. But she's just like sassy character and stuff, and she kind of does prove herself in the comics. And so we kind of see a lot of that translate over into the series. Because in the series, she originally first sees sees Hawkeye and gets inspired by him during the whole Battle of New York from the first Avengers movie. And then what kind of leads to the whole interaction with Hawkeye is because of the whole Ronin stuff, so he's like, where the heck did you find this? And she's like, which then kind of leads to the whole crazy situation and him having to deal with her and her going like, well, da-da-da-da-da-da-da, like, kind of fangirling, but also going like, asking for all these different tips and tricks. So you kind of see them kind of going through a little whole, from the fangirling to getting a bit of the mentoring progress throughout the series a bit. To what happened in the final episode, to them going, okay, yeah, we're having this whole kind of almost Batman Robin thing where they're fighting back to back. Which apparently does eventually happen in the comics, where they both end up using the name Hawkeye, and it's apparently like the Hawkeyes or something. It gets weird. But it was good, and it does make me kind of curious to see how things go in the MCU, because apparently I haven't seen, kind of going back to the fact that the Kingpin guy reprised his role, I haven't seen Spider-Man No Way Home yet, but apparently from my understanding, just from a little digging, apparently Matt Murdock defends Peter from the whole stuff, just from a little digging. And apparently the guy from, of course, the Netflix Daredevil apparently reprised his role for that, so it's kind of like, okay, how many more of the people from the Netflix Marvel stuff are going to reprise their roles going forward? But yeah, just throwing that out there. I'm just, until I actually see the movie, I'm not going to say anything more on that. Just, that's my little thing. But also kind of going forward on the MCU series, I'm kind of going, okay, this kind of makes me a little bit more interested on kind of like what other stuff we're going to see going forward, because, excuse me, when we had Disney Plus Day, we got a sneak peek at She-Hulk, which, that's going to be interesting, because I'm kind of wondering how they're going to play that off, because just from kind of what we saw on that sneak peek, we saw Bruce in his Hulk form, and he's like talking to Jennifer, and she's in a containment unit, like, okay, da-da-da-da, trying to walk her through stuff, so, and she even even in that ending part of the clip, she's like, she even delivers the classic, Hulk line, "You don't want to make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry." So that's going to be interesting. And for those of you who may not know, and with She-Hulk, Jennifer Walters is basically, she is, it kind of changes up a little bit, sometimes depending on the iteration of the comics. She is Bruce's cousin, and she ended up getting she was hurt and ended up getting a blood transfusion from Bruce. Now, I don't remember, I'm not sure on the details. I don't remember, depending where on the comics, I don't know if this is like during one of the phases when he is like total, in the comics, I don't know if this is like in one of the phases when he is like stuck in total Hulk form, and he's kind of, and Hulk's in control, or they're in, like in the current MCU universe when they're in harmony, or Bruce is in his normal form. But she got a blood transfusion from Bruce, and basically gave her the ability to turn into She-Hulk. But unlike Bruce, who has that raging personality, kind of almost Jekyll and Hyde issue going on, she has full control over everything. And also, she's kind of a part-time Avenger. Her main thing is that she kind of becomes more of a superhero lawyer. So that's going to be kind of interesting to see how they do her series. And also, I know that we've got like a bunch of other stuff for the MCU TV shows coming up. I mean, I know we got a Loki 2 season coming up, along with a bunch of other stuff. Like I know there's a Moon Knight and a bunch of other stuff coming up. So it'll be interesting to see like how they do all that. But the Hawkeye stuff was good, and it was interesting to see how they played all that out, along with I kind of don't want to ruin this for you in case you don't see it, but people are probably already have already posted this anyway. We did get to see more Black Widow stuff, because Natasha's sister did make an appearance in this, and obviously because of the end events and what happened with Natasha from the whole Infinity War stuff, she was a little upset, thinking Clint had a deliberate hand in what happened with Natasha. So yeah, so when she first makes her appearance in the series, she's kind of, yeah, so it takes until the final episode for her to kind of get over things. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see how she actually since she's going to become, as far as we know, the new Black Widow going forward, how she's going to be introduced and stuff, because as we knew from the end of the Black Widow movie, that basically she had been going around freeing the other Black Widows, and they do touch on that in the Hawkeye series. Basically, her and another Black Widow had just freed another, and they were talking to this freed Black Widow when and she'd went off to go use the bathroom, and the snap had happened, and then she comes back and is like, what the hell happened? So the other Black Widow's like having to explain what had happened to her. So we're just gonna have to kind of see like how things go with her as things progress. Because we know this isn't going to be the end of seeing Natasha's sister in the Black Widow role. Along with seeing Kate in the Hawkeye role, I don't think. I don't really want to rate this. I really kind of don't want to rate this, considering with Marvel, you kind of never know how things are going to go forward. Especially since we know, I know I'm kind of stumbling here, but I think it's understandable because, like I said, with Marvel, we kind of never know how things are going to go forward. And with them kind of making the jump to having these in TV series included into the MCU universe, it kind of makes it hard to kind of predict how certain things are going to go, because it's like, I mean, as we kind of, I know I'm kind of backtracking here to when we were doing the WandaVision stuff, but we already know from the WandaVision stuff that when we first saw WandaVision, that at least already gave us 2 movies. That set things up for the Doctor Strange movie and Captain Marvel too, because of the events in that movie. And honestly, I kind of think this stuff is a little bit playing out for some other stuff too. Hey, you two. Sorry, my cats. And so I kind of don't want to rate this just right now, because it was solid, and anything Marvel is solid with all the stuff they do. So I'm kind of hesitant to put like a rating on it. Considering what the stuff they're going to go forward with, because I mean, after all, we still got Spider-Man to see, and then anything, and then like I said, we got She-Hulk fixing to come out, and then there's a whole bunch of other and I know they've got other stuff coming out too soon, so not just in their TV show selection, but also in their movie stuff. So, because I mean, there's also, but yeah, that's pretty much it. So, I hope you guys had a Merry Christmas, and I hope you guys have a Happy New Year. You guys might be seeing a couple more videos from me tomorrow, depending on like how things go down. So, give us more, hopefully on that, and please hurry up and give us more subscribers if you want videos and these reviews and stuff to be more up to date and stuff. Because I mean, me and Albion can only do so much when we're limited by jobs and stuff. So please subscribe, share. Bye.